Happy Facebook Live time and happy Thursday and happy September. Woohoo! Fall is coming and cooler weather. I'm so excited. Well, my name is Melissa Kerman and my business name is Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. And I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 17 years. Love the craft, loved sharing it. So welcome, whether you're new or been coming back for a long time. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. And whether you're here for the live or the replay, it's all great. Thank you so much for joining in. So, excuse me. I see people are joining in. So I have a full agenda tonight. I have some announcements. There's some big things going on. And I have 3 project demonstrations because tonight is the night that I do sneak peeks of the September Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle. I'll tell you more about that in just a bit. So we'll start with announcements. So this past weekend, it was actually Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I attended the Stampin' Up! Leadership event. It was called the Leader Summit. It was supposed to be in New Orleans, but thank goodness it wasn't in New Orleans because we wouldn't have been able to be there anyway with the madness that's been happening down there. So my heart goes out to all those people affected by the storm and weather and tornadoes and hurricanes and whatever it was. I always get tornadoes and hurricanes mixed up. Anyway, just terrible, I'm sure. Lots of suffering going on down there. So I hope all the recovery is going well. Anyway, the leadership event was absolutely amazing. I really wasn't sure how it was going to be, being all online, sitting in front of a computer for 2.5 days or so. But it was just phenomenal. I was beyond my expectations. The presenters were wonderful. The classes were great. The camaraderie and connection was wonderful. We had networking sessions where we'd go into these Zoom sessions with 100 people, and then they would break us into smaller groups. It was wonderful. And Stampin' Up! Also sent all of us who were attendees at the event a pair of these wonderful, just put my hand in front of there, Stampin' Up! Flutes to celebrate, and people did a toast on the first night. They're actually Tiffany glass, so just beautiful. I did have a cocktail out of it. I think it was Friday night when we were kind of winding down to celebrate. So just super fun. They treat us really well, and I feel very blessed to be a part of this company. So anyway, that's my little highlight of what's been going on for me, at least on that front. There are some updates I want to share with you. So I have actually, for the month of September, I'm going to be doing different kinds of perks for orders that people place. So usually I do free card kits for every month, and I do it on a 2-month cycle. This month I've decided I'm trying to re-engineer things a little bit so I can send things to people more quickly and they don't have to wait as long. So for September, I'm going to offer 2 different things. Card kits for people who have not received my July-August kits, if they order in September with an order of $50 or more. And for people who order, and if you've already gotten the kits for July-August, instead of sending you kits, I'm going to send you a pack of the Elegant Faceted Gems. These are the most versatile embellishment that I think there is in the annual catalog. It's a new embellishment, and they're really, really pretty. And if you spend $150 and you have already received my card kits, instead you'll get a set of the 2020, 2022 in color markers. So those will be the gifts as an alternative to card kits if you've already received them. And that way I'll sort of get myself caught up a little bit so that things will get to people quicker. So so this is my question to all of you. And I would love you to answer, my question to you to think about. Don't comment yet. I've got a little surprise later. Do you prefer getting free product in general or card kits in the mail? So as a perk for ordering, lots of people offer different things, and I'm just curious what you all like. So hold off on responding, and I'm going to have a little surprise at the end of this Facebook Live, so you have to stay to the end. and I'm going to let you know how I want you to respond to that question. So let's see what else. So so stay to the end for the surprise. So the other big news is that the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the big one, is now available to purchase for customers. So yay, it's amazing. I've showed it a few times on camera. And there is a way to get it at a discount too. So it's normally $120, but if you buy the starter kit, you can get it at a discount because the starter kit is $99, but you get $125 of product. So you can actually buy the starter kit and get it for less money. So that's just one option for you. And the other wonderful thing is that Stampin' Up's doing a starter kit special this month. It's called Get and Go, and it includes the great deal already, $99, and you get $125 in product that you get to pick. Plus, you're going to get 16 card kits. There's that card kits thing again. We'll see how excited people are about this. So you get 16 card kits, 2 different styles. They include envelopes as well. And then you're going to get 2 stamp sets designed to go with those card kits. And the idea is that as a new demonstrator, you'll then be ready to do a class if you want. Now, the way I'm thinking about it is either you can get ready for a class, or you can just have a whole bunch of cards that you can make for your own use, or you can bring a friend over to make them, or you can have a class. So whatever you want to do with it is great, but it's card kits, 16 of them, like I said, with envelopes, 2 free stamp sets, and the stamp sets were included in the photographs of them in my newsletter. So anyway, and it's also going to be on my website too. And then you also get a pack of rhinestone jewels, and when you buy the starter kit, the shipping is free. So it's a pretty awesome deal. So just food for thought. And in honor of all that, I decided to wear my team t-shirt. This is I'm a Treehouse Chick. Yeah, that's my team name. We're the Treehouse Chicks. So it was super fun. All right. So the project demonstration today, like I said, is sneak peeks from the September Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle. That tutorial bundle now is 12 tutorials instead of 8, starting with last month's bundle. We went from 8 to 12, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. You can get it from me with a $35 order, so I include that as a freebie in addition to the other things you get. And you can also buy the PDF if you want as well. That's a new thing I started last month. A couple people have asked me for it. So if you go to the Tutorials and Classes tab on my website and go all the way to the bottom, you'll see a link for tutorials that you can buy. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so the focus of this month's tutorial bundle is the Gilded Autumn Suite. You know, it's the fall, right? We enter into fall. Beautiful suite, specialty paper and specialty foils, and anyway, so super pretty. So I'm super excited to share the 3 projects I have for you today, mine and then 2 others. And we do a new tutorial bundle every month. So, and it always features some suite. So a little bit about that. So I think I'm ready to launch in and show you the projects. All 3 of them use this beautiful autumn stamp set, which is part of the Gilded Autumn Suite, of course. And then we're also going to be using the 3 punches that go with this, that coordinate with this as well. So I'll show you that when I put the camera facing down. So without further ado, let's get started. So last week, I also did a project with the new metallic cardstock that is actually part of this product suite. Now, I got cut off in the middle because I had a problem with my connection last week. So I think there was one segment was missing, so I wanted to recap that. So these are the 3 colors of foil that come with the brushed metallic cardstock. So there's sort of a, I don't know, white gold and a sort of goldish, although it's not exactly the same gold as our other gold foil. And then this one is sort of a brownish copper. And the piece that got cut off last time was I wanted to compare for you the difference between the actual copper that we sell and this paper, which is sort of a brownish copper, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it, but just wanted to show you that. So the copper is sold separately. You get them 2 sheets in a pack. You get these as a set of 6 sheets, 2 of each color. So just a point of information, I am going to be using these metallic cardstocks in some of the projects today. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. So now the 2 projects that I'm featuring that are not my design, my fellow design team members, one of them is Anne Marie Heil. I actually shared something of hers, I believe, last month also. She's one of our newest design team members, and clearly I like her work because I chose her card again to show you tonight. So I've got a lot of pieces prepared already just to make it easy and quick since I'm showing 3 different things. I've got a Cajun Craze card body cut to 4 1/4 by 11. And then I'm just going to put together some of these pieces quickly. So comment if you guys have any of the Gilded Autumn products, or if they're among your top choices in the August to December mini catalog. So this is actually designer paper. It's got this lovely texture to it. That's the back side. Kind of ashamed to be covering up those pretty pumpkins, but you know, that's okay. I'll have to use the pumpkins on something else. So these projects, and pretty much all the tutorial bundle projects, are designed to be pretty simple. And I also think, by and large, it's really pretty easy to recreate them to your own liking with your own stamps and your own products. Now, I happen to be making these designs exactly as is, which you guys probably know pretty well. I don't usually do that, but I really like them as is, so there we go. And I had everything. I see, Kathleen, you have the whole suite. Top choice. Love it. Okay, well, I think you're going to really like these projects then. So this is that brownish copper foil, the brushed metallic foil, the streaks or the brushes or marks are that way. I don't know if you can really see it on camera, but it is just beautiful paper. And this, of course, is another one of the patterns from that designer paper. Really pretty. It's a specialty paper, has the little shiny elements in gold and in copper as well. Or maybe it's the brushed metallic colors, I'm not sure. But it's close enough to go really well with these metallics. All right, so here's my basic card layout, and now let's add some of the fun and foof. I just made that up. Is that a real word? Okay, so I've used my tailored tag punch, and I've punched out one of the metallic foil papers. This is also the brownish copper. And I've stamped the thank you, also from the Beautiful Autumn set. You can see the other sentiments in here. I'm actually using 3 of these sentiments on the 3 different cards today. Yes, the cute little acorn charms. I used that on last week's project. I love the little acorns. So anyway, I stamped the thank you on there. Now, if you don't know this little trick, some of you may already, but it's a really great trick to use with a punch. So I've punched this out. This is exactly the same size, but I want to actually have a little bit of a border on my sentiment. So you do this simple little trick, just punching one, cutting it in half, and then I'm going to put adhesive on the back side of my sentiment piece. And then I'm just going to line this up so that I have a little bit of an edge on the top of my sentiment. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Now you can do this with a lot of different punches. And for some of them, it even works to punch the background piece twice and put two of the pieces, one on the top, one on the bottom, and one on the left and one on the right. So it's a really, really cool trick to be able to get an outline on a punch where, you know, you don't have a die that works for it or another shape that you want to put in behind it. So there's my sentiment. And now I'm going to do some layering of some foliage, and I'm going to use glue dots. Now I have prepared some pieces already. I've got a couple of my maple leaves in that same brownish copper foil, and I've got 2 more maple leaves. These are stamped in the Cajun Craze ink on Cajun Craze cardstock and then just punched out. And then I did the same thing with my mint macaron with the oak leaf. And I'm just going to build a little embellishment onto my sentiment. And I'm going to start with my center. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I had a plan. Sometimes I actually make the project ahead of time, and sometimes I don't. And today I didn't. I'm just going with the flow. And I mostly am doing all exactly the same. I did change on the original. She used one of the designer papers and punched out, punched out some of the leaves, because the paper, and I should have it here to show you, but you can I can actually show you on this piece. So that piece of designer paper, it's all the same sizes, so you can use the designer paper and punch out those shapes, the maple leaf, the oak leaf, and then also the acorn. The color I needed was copper, and I would have had to go right smack in the middle of a very large piece of designer paper in order to get that one. So I decided I would go in favor of the metallic leaf instead. Okay, so I'm going to get my layout here the way I want it and positioning, and then I'll attach it with my glue dots. So that's kind of what I want it to look like. I have to plan out. I'm a planner. Who else out there is a planner? Doesn't that look good? I think that looks pretty good. So that's what I'm going to go with. Looks like I don't have enough adhesive behind this piece. Let's just throw a little glue dot in there and get it in so that it stays. Can't have my border falling off. Okay. So now I'm going to actually put some glue dots just all on the back side of my sentiment piece. So all I'll really have to do is then place my foliage where I want them to be. So I'm going to put 3 on each side. All right, let's see how I did back there. Yeah. Alrighty, plenty of glue dots back there to be able to attach my leaves. So just going to start building my embellishment. And I wanted the metallic leaves to be sort of opposite one another, sort of kitty corner. That's pretty good. I think I'll stick with that. And now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back side. Let's see, where did I put my dimensionals? Got this that flute sitting around, and I have in my nightmares I'm going to knock it over. That would not be any fun. So I'm going to put a generous amount of dimensionals back here. I'm covering up the glue dots that are exposed in behind. And I just want to make sure this stays up really well. All right. And just to get my little layout, I need one other thing. I'm using some of this wonderful copper trim. This comes in a combination pack, and I mentioned it last week. I'm going to grab it because I did not show it last week, so 1 second. And here is the other. So it comes in a combination pack with these two. They're just beautiful. I love the weave and the texture of this one. Same here, and then the shininess. Anyway, so pretty. Such a pretty ribbon. Okay, so now I'm going to make an air bow, what I like to call an air bow. I make two ears with my ribbon, put one through the other, and then I make a little knot. And then my favorite way to do this, I've shared this many times before. If you're new, I hope it's new to you. I like to use these 2 pencils, and they give me extra fingers and extra control over the shape of my little mini bow. So I just pull little ends, and then the other thing that's really cool is that the ears stay rounded. To the extent they actually stay that way once you put it in an envelope, that's a whole other question. But when it's on display, so isn't that cute? So pretty. I love my little air bows. And then I'm just going to trim off the end. So I have to say, I was thinking about this, about mentioning it at the very beginning, but I don't know about you guys, but I tend to burn myself in the kitchen a lot. I've got battle scars. See my little battle scar? And then there's another one. Seems to always be on my left. I got one over there too. I told a story also about how I burned my belly one day. I really need to pay more attention when I'm cooking, I think, and be less distracted and less in a rush. Does that happen to anybody else? Do you burn yourself in the kitchen? It seems so silly. And of course, you know, of course it hurts at the time, but it's not a big deal, but just like, come on. All right, so the way that she had hers was off to the side like this. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Looking for comments. You once burned your belly ironing. Oh my. I burned me, and because, well, you know, if I knew the reason why, I wouldn't do it. Okay, I might have to put this a different spot. I don't know. I'm sort of a symmetry girl. Yeah. I don't know what to do with it. What do you guys think? I did the leaves more symmetrical, so now I feel like I need to do my bow more symmetrical. What's a woman to do? Shoot. I don't know, I kind of like it right there. Okay, should it be symmetrical, my bow? Or should it be off center? You guys let me know. It could be right there, or it could be right there. That's where Anne Marie had hers. But then she didn't do her foliage quite so centered. Okay, I've got one other step for this, so you guys have time to respond. I'm going to use, this is one of my favorite things to do with rhinestones. I'm going to use my bronze Blends alcohol marker, and I'm going to color a couple of rhinestones to embellish this. And I'm doing one big one and 2 small ones. And I do recommend that you do the coloring on your rhinestone holder, for lack of a better description, not on your card, because you'll likely get the bronze blends coloring somewhere you don't want it to be. Looking for comments. Symmetrical bot. Yeah, you know, I guess you guys are symmetrical girls too. But maybe it has something to do with those leaves. Anyway, I'm glad I'm not crazy. Not alone. Not alone in my symmetry. All right, so now to place my little rhinestones. Now, let's see how this is. You know what, I really love copying other people. It's so fun because it makes design like really easy. So thank you, Anne-Marie and other design team members. Okay, now, yeah, so that's not symmetrical, my little rhinestones. Does that not symmetrical rhinestones work with the symmetrical everything else? That's your next responsibility, to comment on that. Oh my goodness, you caught your dress on fire. That's scary. Oh my goodness. We all need to be paying attention, more paying attention. That's really scary. Okay. I'm glad you're here to speak about it, Nancy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and attach this. Okay, I'm looking for responses on my rhinestones. I like my rhinestones. I actually like it without the bow, but the bow is so cute. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there and say I'm done. So shiny and sparkly and fun. I love it. I'm so happy. See, I didn't make this one ahead of time, so that's one of the pleasures of not making it ahead of time, is that you then get to enjoy the fun of having it finished with everybody else, right? Okay, so that's project number 1. Love it. Okay. Project number 2 was designed by Vicki Parsons, and it's actually even a little simpler than this first one. There we go. Same lovely color scheme. Love all those fall colors. Anybody else out there a fall colors girl? I totally am. Now I have inside pieces for these, but they probably should get stamped, but I'm probably not going to do that on camera. All right. So I've got an early espresso card base, piece of crumb cake, 4 by 5 1/4, and the card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Now, when I do these sneak peeks, I don't actually include dimensions on my website because it's supposed to be an exclusive tutorial. So you're supposed to only be able to get it if you buy or get the tutorial for free with an order. But, you guys can all figure some of this out, I'm sure, or all of it for that matter. You're smart people. So I got 3 little panels of designer series paper. I'm going to start with the top one so I can get my spacing. I do love the texture of this designer series paper, this background one. It's subtle, but you definitely notice those little specks. And I'm a texture girl. I love my texture. Check out that one. Isn't that pretty? The copper elements. I see I have some other fall colors. Fall color lovers out there. If I can only say that. Okay. Now this one, my heart is grateful for you. Isn't that a wonderful sentiment? I love it. I love this time of year, and I love Thanksgiving, and I even love it more than Christmas, I'll just say. I think it's probably my favorite holiday of the year is Thanksgiving. It's all just reminders of gratitude, and I certainly have so much to be grateful for. All right, I have one thing that I'm looking for on my desk. Okay, so now I have to stamp a few images here. And this is one of the things I love about this set. So I'm going to start with Cajun Craze. It's got images in it for sort of coloring in and for the outline. Now, until they came out with Blends alcohol markers, I would have just said, I'm not a coloring in girl, but I love the Blends alcohol markers. That's my one favorite coloring in method. But next to that one, this is my next favorite, because guess what? It's kind of cheating. because I just get to stamp the color on. Did you notice I stamped off? So the dark color is there. Now the light color is on the leaf. Isn't that so pretty? I love the detail in this leaf. Just beautiful. Okay, then next I'm going to use my mint macaron. And I'm going to use the outline image. And I am doing these straight up and down because when I go to punch them out, that will make it a lot easier. So that is the case with a lot of punches, that the orientation in which you stamp them is important so that you'll be able to put your punch over that stamped image and punch it properly without too much frustration there. Okay, so I got 2 out of my 3 images. There's my little mini mint macaron one. So cute. Okay, and now I've got the acorn, and the acorn actually has 3 parts to it. So there's the outline, and then you get to fill in the top and the bottom with different colors. And I always like to put the same, if I'm using 2 images to get one finished product, I like to have it on the same block. And I've done the same, of course, with these. So it's just handy. And when you're demonstrating, it's especially handy because then, you know, it's just easier to keep track of all the different stamps that you might be needing for a given project. All right, so this is Early Espresso, which is the outline. And then I'm going to do the top part of the acorn in Early Espresso. And, ooh, I don't know how I'm doing that so spot on, because it's so small. I'm like amazed. I was totally expecting to mess it up. Oh, I see. You feel like crushed curry is missing in this card. What are we going to do? You might have to do your own redo, Kimmy. All right, so now I've got my crumb cake, and I'm going to do the bottom of the acorn in crumb cake. And again, I got it spot on. How did I do that? It's lighter, but it's not as light as I thought it was going to be. Interesting. So I did something funny earlier today. I actually stamped the bottom of the acorn, and I'm going to try to do it again. It's a long shot. I didn't get the whole thing in, so what I did was I inked up my stamp again and just pressed it on the right-hand side. I'm going to try to do it. Ooh. And so what happened was, instead of having a uniform shape, I had almost like a shadow. And I thought that was kind of cool. It was almost like a way to make it look like it had a shadow. Another trick for coloring in when you really don't have to color in, right? Well, I'm glad you like that trick, Robin. The front and back mounting of stamps. All right, so now I'm just going to punch these little babies out. And getting it centered requires a little focus. I know some people just love that when it pops out. It's just fun. Okay, now my oak leaf. I have a thing for little punches. It's like whenever they come into the catalog, it's like I have to have them. I'm obsessed with little things. I've been like that since I was a child. Anybody else? Anybody else obsessed with little things? Little tiny leaves and acorns and punches. Last year they had this set of punches, you guys may remember, that was one for every season. So there was a leaf, a heart, a snowflake, and what was the last one? It's slipping my mind. Oh, it was a bat. And they were the cutest little stamps and shapes. Anyway, there's my little 3. Kimmy, you like little things too? Oh no, the greens. You guys are talking about the greens. It's hard to keep track of the conversation, looking up and down repeatedly. All right, so now I'm going to use these embellishments to put onto my card, and I'm gonna do, let's find my spots where I want them to be. I think I want my big leaf on my sentiment, and that one right there. Either that or that. For some reason, I just want that maple leaf to be on the sentiment piece. I just love the shape of the maple leaf. Okay, dimensionals now. All right, home stretch here. Now I have to use small ones because these are so small. I should probably have my mini dimensionals out, but I don't. I think these will do. Okay, let's find another small one. I like to cut off the edges of my dimensional sheets to get thin, long pieces when I need them, and I actually did that. I'm going to show you on the next project. Alrighty. One more shape. And that is it for this card. There we go. Card number 2. Simple. Simple is good. All right. I'm not going to use any ink for the last one because I've done what I need to do. So we'll close those babies up. Okay. Punches. Okay, good. So we got 1, 2. Now the last one was my contribution to the design team tutorial bundle. I've got a vanilla piece of cardstock, again 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to do this slightly different than what I did for the original, and all I'm doing is mixing up the designer paper. All my pieces have adhesive on them, so this is going to be super quick to put together. I love this pattern. Aren't those papers, isn't that paper just so pretty? I just love it. I would never, think to put mint macaron in there with the Cajun craze. I'd probably go for an old olive or something like that, but I really like it. It's grown on me. It's so pretty. And then these papers have the metallics in them too, making it super fun. Okay. So now I've got this Have a Beautiful Day stamped in early espresso. This is a tiny, thin little strip, and I'm just putting it on the bottom so it stretches all the way side to side. Blends in a little bit on that one. It shows up a little bit better on the other one. You'll see that in just a minute. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I've cut a frame. I've used the just the regular square layering squares dies, so I used 2 of them, and I can't remember which sizes. I'm going to measure this so I can tell you in case you want to do that. If you know the outside edge, that will help because it won't be written down. So it's, let's see, it's 3 and almost, I'm sorry, 2 7/8, almost 2 7/8. All right, my little clue so you can do it. All right, so this is where I was talking about cutting off the edges of my dimensionals. So you can see here that whole edge is that actually is as is, but here I've cut off that whole strip, and it leaves me, when I cut it off, it leaves me with a half piece right there. But this little strip makes for a really nice, perfect little strip of dimensionals for a frame like this. So I've done that all around. So that's my other little tip for the day. How to not just maximize your dimensionals, but get just the right size that you need for a frame like this. Okay, one more side to take off. And then I've got adhesive on the back side of this piece of designer paper. I would recommend putting the adhesive on to start with, because otherwise you'll have to put it on when it's already raised up, sort of. If that makes any sense. So I'm just attaching it to my designer paper, and it's a little bit wonky and off, and I should have done it the other way. Oh man, let's see if I can fix that, because it's showing a little bit on the side. This is real life. This is what we do. Okay. I'm actually going to go like this. And that way I know it's centered on my dimensional strips. And that, of course, has adhesive on the back already, so we're good, right? Okay. And then I can go ahead and attach it to the front of my card. I'm going to show you the other one I did too. You're going to have to tell me which one you like best. Okay, there's that. And then I've die cut one of these gorgeous leaves. This is the Love of Leaves bundle. It comes with the Love of Leaves stamp set. That's did I use that? I used that a couple weeks ago in a project. So this is one of the dies, and these dies are just so pretty because they have this stitching in them. So you can cut the outline, or you can cut the outline and the stitching. I don't understand your question, Marcia. Hiding 24 karat gold? You're going to have to explain that to me. All right, I'm catching the conversation in the middle, I have a feeling. Okay, so before I attach this, I'm going to add a little bit of dimension and shape to it. So holding it very carefully, rubbing it against my thumb, and holding where it might be more fragile at the base of the leaf. Is that a frond? Something like that. Just curling it up, just so it's got a little dimension to it. If I wanted, I could sponge the edges, but I didn't sponge anywhere else, so I'm not going to actually sponge this one. Now when I attach this, I'm going to use two different adhesives, because some of the parts are raised up and some of the parts are flat on the frame. So I'm going to grab some glue dots and put a few glue dots in places where the leaf is going to lay flat. See if I got more spots. Just in the corner. And then I'm going to have spots that are going to be raised up, like right in here. So I'm going to get my spots. Okay, so on these two leaves, there should be a dimensional. Hopefully they're not too big. I think that. Okay, I'm fussing, aren't I? That's what I gotta do. It's gotta be right. Okay, I think that works. If I sponged, I would probably use the same color mint macaron, just to add a little bit of shadow to the edge. Good question. Now I don't want my big leaf to go off the edge of the card, so that I can still get it into a envelope. But so I'm almost there. Now for this one, I've also created an air bow with my beautiful copper trim. And I'm just gonna put a glue dot on the back of it. Oh, look at that. How do I get a glue dot on there? And place it right in the middle of my big, beautiful mint macaron leaf. And there we go. There's my finished card. Probably a little different from my usual style, but I love it. So let me show you the original one. I used, it's actually the back side of this paper is what I used on this one. It's the mint macaron with, I guess it's the goldish elements in there. And now I'm curious, what's your favorite? Which do you like better? I had to do it different. I just had to. I couldn't do two that were the same. It's a disease that I have. So tell me which one you like. The specialty gold elements or the, the patterned one. So let's bring in the other ones. The other projects. I'll take photographs of these. They'll be on my blog on Saturday. The video will be on YouTube on Saturday as well. That's just been working a little bit better for my schedule these days. It's getting it live on Saturday. All right. So, back to my question. Did you stay to the end? Aw, that's so sweet, Kathleen. You're just the sweetest person ever. You always have something sweet to say. Can I just say I'm grateful for you? And I mean that wholeheartedly. My heart is grateful for you right there. That's for you. And so many of the rest of you too, but you just caught my eye right there at this moment. Okay, so my question for you guys, and this is now, you've stayed long enough, so now you get to know what the question is. So I have a surprise gift that I'm going to give away, and it's going to be among the people that comment to my question with the appropriate hashtag. So you'll have a little bit of time while I finish up and do reminders and all that stuff to put your comment. So it's going to be your preference for, do you prefer free product or free card kits? And if you can't decide, you can use both hashtags, but here's the hashtag. So hashtag free product, hashtag free card kits. So it's one or the other. If you do both, that's cool too. You don't get entered twice. I just want to know your opinion. So if you do, you'll get entered into a drawing, and then I will probably need you to message me with your address so I can mail you the gift. The gift is going to be a pack of the, what are they called? The elegant faceted gems, the thing that you're going to get, that people will get as a gift when they order this month. Now, if you also order this month, you can pick something different that's the same value, okay? If you win. All right. So I'll be looking for your comments as I finish up. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around. Let me get situated here. Let's see. And it's going to be fun to look at your comments. I know, lots of demonstrators give free product, as a gift at the end of the, for a given month. And I have typically done card kits, and I know some people really love them. So just curious, I'm mixing it up. And sometimes it's hard to keep up with the free card kits because you guys know I put my heart and soul into them. Make sure they're cut all right and everything. So it's good to have another alternative and see what you all like. Okay, so just recap, reminders, right? So the gifts in September for orders are either elegant faceted gems or free card kits for an order of $50 or more, and 6 card kits for an order of $150, or the 2020-2022 in color markers, depending on whether you've received the July-August kits or not yet. So that's just a quick reminder on my perks and gifts this month. Yes, you can, Kimmy. I saw that. And then what else? Oh yes, so the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is available, and of course the new Get and Go starter kit special is happening for this month as well. So it goes through all the way through the end of September, so you have a little bit of time to think about this, if it's something you're interested in. Please feel free to let me know if you have questions. I'm happy to have a phone conversation if you're considering it. And most demonstrators are hobbyists. They don't make a business of this, although it's wonderful if you want to. So you don't have to think that it's a big commitment, really. It's kind of about getting a discount and being a part of an amazing community. This leadership event that I went to this past weekend was definitely a testament to that. Really wonderful, and it's I feel so grateful to be a part of this Stampin' Up! Community. So, and all of you guys, yay! Thank you for being here, because guess what? I wouldn't be here if you weren't listening. Otherwise, it'd be kind of pointless. All right. So let's see anything else. So I'll be back next week, next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same channel. And that would be on, what would be the date? September 10th, actually, would be next Thursday. And I'm going to allow this little special thing to sit out there all week. So I'm going to announce the winner next week. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or you're watching the replay here on Facebook, you're welcome to respond with the hashtags, and I will draw for a winner sometime during the week, and then I'll announce it next Thursday. So just a little fun thing for somebody out there. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I think it's probably been a long one because I got 3 projects to cover, and I just love showing you all this stuff. So thanks for taking the time to be here with me. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, everybody, and a great weekend. Bye. Thanks again for watching.